Well, now, as you've heard in the headlines, President Trump wants the U.S. to take it back.
Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy.
Trump's comments generating international backlash. Russia quickly issuing a warning, saying it expects the U.S. to respect its treaty with Panama and the commitment to keep the critical waterway neutral and open to international use. Meanwhile, we're getting word that Trump's return to office was a key topic during a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. A 90-minute video conference, they discussed how to build ties with the new American president and deepen the strategic partnership between the two countries. Retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert is with us now. Good morning and welcome back to you as always. Trump says that the U.S. ships are not being treated fairly in the Panama Canal. What evidence does he have to support that? What does this critical waterway look like for U.S. ships?
Marni, first of all, it's very ironic that we would get lectured on international law by the Russians. But there's about $270 billion of economic flow through the Panama Canal every year. 3/4 of that is American. And our biggest concern right now is that a Chinese-owned company controls the ports on both sides of the canal. That is a vital choke point for American economic interests, as well as repositioning of American Navy ships. And President Trump is rightfully refocusing our attention and reasserting our influence in the region, specifically in the Panama Canal.
So is retaking it a real possibility, and what might that look like or entail?
Marni, this is a first foray by the Trump administration into that refocus of our attention in our own hemisphere. We've neglected our own hemisphere for far too long, and he is helping us snap back to a bit of the Monroe Doctrine from 200 years ago. And that includes the talk about Greenland, that includes the talk about the southern border, that includes the talk about drug cartels, and it certainly controls or contains the thought about who controls or who governs the activities in the Panama Canal. Because it is a vital interest to the United States, it's right to refocus national power on it, and how that actually manifests itself in policy, we still will see. But it is right that we are refocusing our attention when we've neglected it in the Western Hemisphere for far too long.
Well, it clearly prompted a response and reaction from Vladimir Putin. Trump was asked about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, speaking of Putin, and whether he plans to speak with the Russian president about making a deal to end the war. I want to share with folks at home what he said on that.
Plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. I mean, Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble.
It's not often that he is critical of Putin, but he clearly showed some concern here. What does that signal about U.S.-Russian relations and potential next steps?
Marni, in order for the United States to play a positive role in brokering the end to that war, the United States needs to ensure that Ukraine does so from a position of strength. Zelensky, as President Trump said, is interested in making a deal, but Putin is not. And the only way to bring Putin to the table is to convince him that it is in Russia's best interest to do so. And that means the United States in the short term is likely to support the Ukrainians to be as strong as possible to bring Putin to the table.
Always a pleasure, General Teichert. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.